So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Prakhar. Today we will be solving a fun problem that involves the finding the length of the longest common prefix between two arrays of positive integers, right? Okay, this is problem number 3043, right? As you can see, it is the part of LeetCode daily problem. Alright, so let's dive right into the problem statement and then we will see how we're gonna build up the intuition to find to solve this particular problem. Alrighty, so let's read out the statement first of all. So we are given two arrays with positive integers ARR1 and ARR2, right? Okay, cool. Now, they have defined what exactly is prefix, right? Also, a prefix of a positive integer is an integer formed by one or more of its digit, starting from its leftmost digit. You might be knowing the definition of prefix, right? So it is explaining the same thing, nothing new, anything, right? Okay. As you can see over here, leftmost digit, right? So for example, 1, 2, 3 is a prefix of the integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? While 2, 3, 4 is not. Why so? Because as we know, the prefix is what? The leftmost digits, right? Starting from its leftmost. Alright, and since here 2, 3, 4 is not from the leftmost, it is not the part of prefix, right? Okay. Now, what exactly is common prefix, right? So, common prefix of two, basically, when we are talking about two or three integers or many integers, but there needs to be the common prefix, right? So, a common prefix of two integers a and b is an integer c, such that c is a prefix of both a and b. Suppose there are two integers a and b, right? And an integer c. Integer c is a prefix of both, as it is mentioned over here. For example, 5655359 and 56554 have a common prefix 565. 565 is also a common prefix and 5655 is also a common prefix, right? Here it has just mentioned about common prefix, but if we are concerned about the longest common prefix in this particular example, it would be 5655, right? Okay. Now, yeah, blah blah things. You need to find the length of the longest common prefix between all the pairs of x, y, such that, yeah, x must belong to ARR1 and y belongs to ARR2. And finally, we have to return the longest common prefix, basically the length of the longest common prefix among all pairs. And also, if no common prefix exists among them, we have to return 0. Alright. So problem is marked as medium, but I would not mark this particular problem as a medium problem, but I would say it is an easy problem because it just requires the implementation. Nothing, you don't need to think anything like out of the box, right? You just have to implement whatever it has asked over here. All right, means for every digit, very very easy problem, right? Means for the intuition is very simple as well, like for every integers, let's say from ARR1 we have to store each character as a prefix, right? Let's say for this one can be the prefix, then here one can be prefix, one is already there, so we will just increase the count of 1 to 2. Basically we will be storing the prefix into the hash map, all right? Then 10 will be again the prefix, and then after storing everything into the hash map, we will iterate over this array, right? And after converting this thing into string, basically both of these to the strings, and then comparing basically the prefixes, forming the prefixes here, and then what we will be doing is that we will just compare. Basically we will see if the prefix formed here is being contained by this hash map or not, right? If it is, we will just compare the maximum length and finally we will return. This was all the explanation. If you still need some explanation, okay, let's go with this problem. Let's go with this particular test case. All right. Okay. So 1, 10, 100, ARR1 and ARR2 is 1000. Okay. Let's start from this. As you can see, 1 is this one is also present in ARR2, like 1000. The first, the leftmost digit is 1. So, yeah. So, length will be what? So, the common prefix is what? Common prefix here is what? 1. Length is also equal to 1. Length of this common prefix is 1, right? Length length of common prefix is 1. Alright. Moving on to the second iteration. This is 10, right? 10 and here 1000. Common prefix again you can see 10 is present here, 10 is also present here. So length this time will be what? 2. Third iteration. Here it is 100 and here it is 1000. Clearly we can see 100 and 100 in ARR2 because 1000 has 100 as well. So length here will be what? 3. And out of these three lengths, the maximum out of these is 3. Hence the answer is 3. As you can see here, it is right. Now, let's move directly to the coding part. Okay, you just have to convert the arrays, these things into the string, and then for each character, we have to store that thing into the hash map. And from array 2 onwards, while iterating over this, we will be converting the same to the string and then forming the prefix. And finally, seeing that if prefix of ARR2 is present in the map by ARR1 or not. Okay, all right. So let's move to writing the solution. Okay, all right. So as said, taking up a hash map, it will be string comma integer type. Okay, sorry, map string comma integer map. Let's say I have named it as map. Map is equal to new hash map, right? Hash map. Cool. Now, peoples, we have to iterate over the first array, right? Then what did I said? We have to convert it into the strings as well. Because for every digit we are seeing, right? For every digit we'll be making up the prefix. So converting that thing into the string will solve our problem very easily, right? So string, let's say I'm naming it as str. And do we convert? How do we convert num here to the string? Very easy. We have integer dot to string, and in the parentheses we just need to pass num. All right, cool. Now let's take up a variable name prefix. This will be basically storing all the prefixes. Okay, so for char ch, let's say, and what str dot to char array. All right, just append it into the prefix variable by prefix plus is equal to ch, and then put it into the map. Basically, you need to check if it is already present, so you just have to increase the counter by 1. So the shortcut of doing the same is that, how we are doing, the shortcut of doing the same is that, is this map.put, what we have to store prefix, right? Prefix comma, map dot get or default, get or default. I hope you know how this work, this map.get or default function, right? So prefix comma 0. Basically, it is just saying that if prefix is present in this particular map, just increase the counter by +1 of what it was previous, and if it is not present, just put it as 0, right? Then from the side, now taking up the variable, let's say max length, which will store the max length which will be returned eventually, right? Now same thing here, just copy paste the following thing. We will be changing up something over here. It's the logic part. Just re rename to array2, right? Num, all right. Prefix is formed. Now just compare what? Max length. Sorry. You have to check if it is if this prefix if this prefix form is present in the map above, right? So if map dot contains key what? Prefix, right? Just compare the length. Max length is equal to what? Max dot max, right? Max length and the prefix dot length. Length, okay. Prefix dot length. Alrighty. And finally, let's return the maximum length. Return max length. Alright. Let's see if it is alright. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my bad. It is a variable bad. Okay. Alright. Sample test cases are passed. Now let's move on to the final submission, guys. Are you in? Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Now, guys, any idea about the time and space complexity? It is very straightforward. Yeah, it is very straightforward. Just think a little and you will get to know the time complexity and the space complexity of this particular problem, right? Means how we have approached and whatnot. So the time complexity is what? Big O of n into k plus m into k. How? Because in the first loop, where we iterate through ARR1, look here, right? We are processing each number and its prefixes, right? It is if n is the length of ARR1, let's say, and each number has an average length k, let's say. This loop will take O, big O of n cross k. Am I clear? Alright. Let me speak it up this again. So in this loop, we iterate through ARR1, we are processing each number and its prefixes, right? Cool. And if n is the length of ARR1, let's say, and each number has an average length k, let's say, this loop will take big O of n cross k. Alright? Same goes for here. Similarly, means uh, let's say if m is the length of ARR2 and same goes here as well. Alright. Now moving on to the space complexity. So as you can see, we are using a hash map over here, right? We're using a hash map over here. So to store all possible prefixes from ARR1, in the worst case, the space complexity of map would be proportional to the number of prefixes generated, right? So very straightforward, right? So big O of what? N cross K is the space complexity. Okay, guys. So, and that's how we solve this particular problem of finding the longest common prefix between two arrays of integers. I hope this explanation helped you understand the logic behind the solution and how to approach similar problems. Alrighty? So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for the more coding content. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions for the future topics or something like that. Or if you have any problem with this problem statement, or if you are concerned about the solution. If you don't understand the solution, just ping me up in the comment. I will be happy to reply with the solution. right? So thanks for watching and see you next time. So bye bye guys.